Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Newmarket Racecourse here on Friday. It is the 23rd of September 2022. I'm going to look at the stakes races on the program, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections for race courses around the world. Let's look at the stakes action races 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. So quite a few races to look at. The first race to 150, it's the Rosemary Stakes. It's a fillies listed stakes for Class 1 horses going for a purse $70,000. Race for 3-year-olds, and upward. Fillies mares only, which are EBF eligible. 11 horses are going 1,600 meters or a mile on the rolling mile turf course. I'm going to take the 11 horse here as Zemback as a top selection. Let's go 11-6-7 in your tri-cash trifecta. 11-6-7 tri-cash trifecta. Top selection 11 horse Zemback. 3-year-old filly by Wace's Dream. Shadow Alone. Roger Varian trains. Jim Crowley gets to mount. The horse's most recent outing came 23rd July at Ascot, 1 mile in the Group 3 Valiant Stakes, and the horse finished 5th by 2 3/4 lengths, and just never really quickened up, just at mid-pack most of the race, and just was flat. The race prior, the horse ran decently, but that day against group quality horses, she didn't show up. Coming here off the bench, not the world's toughest listed stakes. I think she could get a better trip, and I think she could run to the winner's enclosure today. Two back, she ran at Raw Ascot in the Sangraham Stakes, or the mile on the 17th of June, excuse me. The horse finished second by length that day. She sat back early. She slowly moved her way up. The winner was much the best, but this horse was closing up well late. She ran a very respectable performance. And then on yielding ground on the 26th of May at Haydock, 7 furlongs in a Class 4 fillies novice race, winning by 1 1/4 lengths that day. She didn't break so well. She was with them early on. She quickened up nicely. 37 to the dollar. You could forgive what happened at the beginning where she just didn't break. But coming here today off some decent runs at 4-1 on the user. To recap my selection for the 150, the first race from Newmarket's the Rosemary Stakes. Let's take the 11 horse Zemback. 11-6-7 super. 11-6-7 in your tri-cash trifecta, excuse me, not super. But let's get to the second race from Newmarket, which is the Group 3 Dubai Stakes. It's a Group 3 event for Class 1 horses going for a purse of $108,000. Race for 3-year-olds and upwards, fillies mares only. 8 horses are going 2,400 meters or a mile and a half on the rolling mile. I'm going to take here the 7 horse Sea Silk Road. Let's go 7-2-5 in your tri-cash trifecta. 7-2-5 tri-cash trifecta. Top selection 7 horse Sea Silk Ride. Sea Silk Road, excuse me. 3-year-old filly by See the Stars. William Haggis trains. Tar Marquand gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 20th of August at Deauville. A mile and a quarter yielding ground in Group 3 Prix de la Noette. And the horse finished 4th by 2 3/4 lengths that day. And the horse just kind of stuck. It could never get the good turn of foot. The winner was much the best. This horse off the 2-month refreshing, I do think she needed the race. Coming here to a Group 3, not the world's toughest race, I think with the class release, she should really get a better trip to win. Back to the mile and a half before on the 16th of June at Raw Ascot, a mile and a half in the Group 2 Ribblesdale, and she finished second by a half a length that day. She didn't break well that day. She sat back early. She really closed up well late. She got to a good gallop, but she was just a little bit too late. She still ran her heart out there. And then a Goodwood over the mile and a quarter in the Fashion Stakes, and the height of Fashion Stakes, 20th of May on soft ground. She won by half a length that day, and basically she sat back early again, slowly moved her way up, and she got the job done. Not the flashiest victories, but she got the job done. First time stakes quality horses, first time winners. Prior to that, in the main race at Nottingham over the miles, she won by 5.5 lengths that day, and she stalked. She got the lead. She quickened up nicely. She's bred for the mile and a half. She's a versatile type. She come from a little bit behind or set the pace. I'm going to use her here on the ticket. But to recap my selection for the 225, the second race from Newmarket, it's the Group 3 Dubai Stakes. Let's take the 7 horse Sea Silk Road. 7-2-5 for me in your tri-cash trifecta. The co-featured third race, the 3 o'clock from Newmarket, it is the Group 2 Rockfel Stakes. It's a Group 2 event for Class 1 horses going for a purse of $154,000. Race is for 2-year-old fillies. Field of 14 horses going 1,400 meters or 7 furlongs on the rolling mile. Going to take here as a top selection number 14 horse Sydney Arms Chelsea. Let's go 14-2-10 in your tri-cash trifecta. 14-2-10 tri-cash trifecta. Top selection of 14 horse Sydney Arms Chelsea. Cheerfully by Sioux Nation. Charlie Hill trains. William Buick gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came 2nd of August at Deauville. 7 furlongs in the Group 3 Six Perfection Stakes, and the horse won by 3/4 of a length that day. And basically had a dream drag position. She slowly moved her way up. When she quickened up, she got the job done. A very, very good run. Second start in France against some decent quality horses. Come to the UK today, back to the UK, facing these horses off some decent runs. I think she has the edge to win here today. Also picking up Buick is a strong thing. Two back in the Prix de Chambre at Deauville listed six, 7 furlongs, 10th of July. She finished fourth by 2 3/4 lengths there, and she never really got going from the front of the pack. She kind of hit the wall late. It just wasn't the day to win. And then the Albany Stakes at Ascot, 6 furlongs, 17th of June. She finished fifth by 2 1/4 lengths. If she would have broke better, she probably would have made the race very interesting, but she broke horribly that day. She was under the drive and just kind of hit the wall late. She outran her 25 to 1 odds, but she needs to break. And then at Newbury, 6 furlongs in a Class 5 main race, the end of May, the horse won by 3/4 length. Sat back early, really had a great turn of foot to get the job done. Coming here at 10 to 1 off some decent runs at Deauville. I think this horse is on the up and up. We'll use him. To recount my selection for the 3 o'clock, the third race from Newmarket, it's the Group 2 Rockfel Stakes. Let's take the 14-horse Sydney Arms Chelsea, 14-2-10 in your TriCast trifecta. The co-featured fourth race, the 3:35 now from Newmarket. It is the Group 2 Joel Stakes. It's a Group 2 event for Class 1 horses going for a purse of $155,500. Race for 3-year-olds and upwards. 7 horses are going 1,600 meters or a mile on the Rolly Mile. I'm going to take here the number 2 horse, Mustakabek. Pardon me, I mispronounce the horse's name wrong all the time. But we'll go 253 in your TriCast trifecta. 253 TriCast trifecta. Top selection 2 horse Mustabek. This 4-year-old colt by Invisible Spirit. Charlie Hills trains. Jim Crowley gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 27th of August at Goodwood, yielding ground 1 mile in the Group 2 Celebration Mile. And the horse finished fourth by 3 3/4 lengths that day. And he just kind of stalked. The 3 in front of him had the better turn of foot. Off the bench, he was just a little bit flat. Quick turnaround to this race here today to Newmarket. I'm going to give him another shot. He hasn't run here in quite a while, but when he runs here, he runs decently. He's 3 for 2 at Newmarket, so keep that in mind. 2 back in the Group 2 Summer Mile at Ascot. 1 mile on very fast ground, 9th of July. He finished second by a head that day, and he stalked. He had the lead. He got out-gamed by Chindit that day, but again, he ran his heart out. And then the Diomed Stakes at Epsom, a mile 16th, the 4th of June. He finished third by 1 1/4 lengths that day. He didn't break that well, which probably cost him. He was never really comfortable there at Epsom. And then before then, the Bet 365 mile at Sandown over the mile. He finished second by a neck that day. And again, he just really, sat back out of it early. He moved a little bit late, but he was very lackadaisical in that run. His form recently hasn't been half bad. Coming here to this Group 2, I think he's loaded. I'll use him here at 7 to 2. But to recount my selection for the 3:35 from Newmarket, it's the Group 2 Joel Stakes. Let's take the 2 horse Mustakabeg. Let's go 253 in your TriCast trifecta. Now let's head over to race number 6 now, to the 4:45, which is the Godolphin Stakes. It's a listed stakes for Class 1 horses, going for that $70,000 purse. Races for 3-year-olds and upwards. 7 horses are going 2,400 meters or a mile and a half on the Rolly Mile. I'm going to take here the 7-horse Siskani as a top selection. Let's go 751 in your TriCast trifecta. 751 TriCast trifecta. Top selection 7-horse Siskani. 4-year-old Gelding by DeBowie. Godolphin Doan. Charlie Alpy trains. William Buick gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came last Saturday at Newbury, a mile 3/8 in the Group 3 Legacy Cup Stakes, and the horse finished 8th by 14 lengths that day, and just really was under the drive and not excelling. First start back from Saudi, needed the race. With a quick turnaround here today against these horses, listed horses, I think the horse is going to be rearing to go and run a good race. 2 back in the Red Sea Cup in Saudi Arabia over the mile 7/8, 26th of February. He finished third by 6 lengths that day, and he just kind of stalked all the way down the race track. He couldn't get the good turn of foot. The ones in front of him ran a little bit better, but he ran his heart out there. And then prior to that at Maidan, in the Alcoholic Trophy over the mile 3/4, staying on the lawn, he won by 5.5 lengths that day, and he took the shortest way around from the inside. He quickened up nicely. A very good race there. A month prior, he actually ran a Kempton, a mile and a half in the Wildflower Stakes, where the horse finished second by 3 1/4 lengths that day, and he just couldn't get the good turn of foot. The winner was just out game. But coming here today off some decent run, won here last fall over the mile and a half at Newmarket, back to the local course. At 7-2, I'm going to use him. I think you also have to use the other Godolphin, the 5-horse Global Storm. Ryan Moore's on this one. you don't see him ride for a Godolphin Charlie Appleby very often, so it's a weird jockey booking. But most recently they took the horse Staying in a Class 2 handicap at York over the mile 3/4, where he finished ninth by 4.5 lengths. He was drawn very wide and just never stayed the trip. Back to a mile and a half, back to Newmarket, where this horse I thought ran a decent third place finish in the Prince of Wales, in the Princess of Wales in July. Come back here, I'm going to give this horse a shot with some serious class relief off some of those most recent races. But to recap my selection for the 4:45, the 6th race from Newmarket's the Godolphin Stakes. Let's take the 7-horse Ascani, give kudos to the 5-horse Global Storm. 7-5-1, Tri-Cash Trifecta. Let's go 7-5 in that plays pot. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everybody.